she and her partner are since separated, so clearly more was going on there. But I do think it is a good representation of some of what was happening in their relationship, that she was giving a lot, especially in terms of domestic labor, and her partner was not. That's a common thing to hear sometimes, right? Like, I've heard that before, and it's a shame. So, that's one thing. But another friend, a second friend of mine who was in the same car, had a totally different attitude, and I was pretty surprised by it. I guess before I get into her, I'll say like my own bit to give context. First of all, I am lucky enough to have the energy and the ability to care for my own in certain ways, to cook and to clean. I'm also very lucky because my partner does a lot of the tasks around the house. In fact, I have to try to keep up almost. And because my partner does so many tasks, it makes it really easy for me to want to contribute. So I do. My partner cooks almost all the time. I always do the dishes afterwards. I take care of the plants. We have a lot of plants. I do the laundry and I fold it. And they cook like pretty much all the time. And then together, almost every Sunday, but not every Sunday, we clean the house. We call it a cleaning party, We set a time limit, like an hour or two, depending on how clean we want it to be, and how much energy we have, and what else we have to do that day. Then we play music, we blast music, and we clean. And it's fun because as long as the music is playing, you know that in the house, even if you're in different rooms or different sections, your partner is also cleaning. So it has this effect where everything you do feels like double. When you get to the end of it, you're like, whoa, it's so clean. It's twice as clean as what I thought it was, because I was only paying attention to what I was doing. And it's fun because you can just pop around and do the tasks you feel like doing. Some things just have to get done. But, you can be like, okay, I'm gonna do this and this, and then my partner will be like, I'll do that and that. I'll be like, this needs to get done, but I don't feel like doing it this week. They'll be like, I'll do that. So that's how we clean our house. So, my friend A, then there was me, there was another friend over here, but we're excluding her from this ramble. So, talking about this friend now, my friend B, the one who had an attitude I was very surprised by. She said, for example, I refuse to clean my house. I refuse to spend my one life cleaning. She doesn't have enough money to hire someone to clean, so I think what happens, well, with her ex would always clean everything. But then she's no longer in that relationship, so I think she just plays like a game of chicken with her mom. And eventually her mom will come over and clean parts of the house for her because is a great lesson. It's important to care for ourselves, for our homes. I like to clean my house. I don't like it, but I like caring for the things that I have. It feels meaningful to me. So to care for ourselves, our houses, our plants, our dogs, they are projects that will be forever unfinished, forever renewing. So if you look at them from a place of like productivity and completion, you'll only ever be unsatisfied. And we do them because it's not for personal gain, and it's not for like clout either. It's because we care, and because they're necessary, and that we care because they're necessary, which doesn't have to feel like a trap. It can feel freeing. And so that whole idea of personal gain takes me into another thing, which is that if you look at chores or doing the dishes, say, with your like capitalism goggles on, you're not gonna like it, because capitalism emphasizes growth and productivity in as less, like the least amount of time possible. I'll just read you a quote from a book, maybe you've heard of it, called How to Do Nothing by Jenny Odell. In the context of health and ecology, things that grow unchecked are often considered parasitic or cancerous. Yet, we inhabit a culture that privileges novelty and growth over the cyclical and the regenerative. Our very idea of productivity is premised on the idea of producing or experiencing something new, whereas we do not tend to see maintenance and care as productive in the same way, but we should. That really resonates with me. I care for my partner because I care. So it's so much better to be like, I sexy because they are so cyclical and unremarkable, and you can't really boast about them either. So they're parts of life that people can't like present. Nobody cares that you did your dishes because they have to do them too. Nobody cares that you walked your dog because they had to do that too. You can't tally them up. You can't put them on a resume. You can't tell an interesting story about them. So they are like worthless, and also they are never finished. They just keep coming. And the progress you make is not linear, which in our like clout chasing